When you realize that, according to his own words and other testimonies, Jakub Jal was practically constantly under the influence of drugs, and then you read testimonies about his aggressive and sexually violent behavior, a disturbing picture emerges, which the journalists who so fervently defend him completely ignore. Instead of looking at the overall context, years of manipulative behavior, lies, fraud, accusations of other people, drug abuse, and mental problems, they portray him as a student at a prestigious university who became a victim of a hateful campaign. Even though all this information is publicly available, court decisions, witness testimonies, and documented cases. Why have the journalists withheld this information from the public? Would it perhaps break their narrative of the innocent victim of an alleged pro-Russian cult?
This is the only thing that interests journalists in this severe case. They are not interested in the fate of children and people in Tanzania. They are not interested in Jakub Jal's overall personality profile. The only thing that interests them are conspiracy theories about an alleged dangerous pro-Russian cult, which is actually banned in Russia itself. How is that possible?
The answer is simple. When you look at who is actually defending Jakub Jal, you will start seeing a clear connection. Those are people who call themselves exposers of sects and cults. They use the same rhetoric and act in a coordinated manner. And the whole thing is very reminiscent of the anti-cult network associated with Alexander Dvorkin and his Russian organization, Russiers. Here, I'd like to note that Alexander Dvorkin, much like Jakub Jal, is known for his problems with drugs and mental health. In Dvorkin's case, this is confirmed by his medical records on mental disorders and his registration at a psychiatric and neurological outpatient clinic.
The structure that Dvorkin started building 30 years ago is closely connected to the Russian Orthodox Church and, according to many indications, is controlled by the FSB. For decades, its activity has been accompanied by organized campaigns against innocent people based on falsified evidence devised by members of this network themselves. And what is the worst part? Those cult experts, as well as journalists associated with them, have been systematically dismantling the foundations of democracy for decades, dividing society, causing repression, and violating the freedom of thought, freedom of speech, conscience, and religion, all of that under the pretense of fighting cults and sects.
Today, we observe how these Russian methods are being exported to Europe and across the entire world, and we see how they are being used in Jakub Jal's defense. While representatives of this network defend Jakub under the pretext of exposing dangerous cults, real independent journalists, who are not connected to Russiers in any way, remain silent because they fully understand what is happening and do not want to be drawn into it. After all, this case is now being discussed at a high level in the US Congress. It was there that evidence was presented confirming the existence of a coordinated network, which operates according to the same schemes as in the case of Jakub Jal, and which hides behind slogans and arguments about fighting